Well, thank you very much indeed, Roger. My last bit of my input to tonight, you couldn't expect really an analyst to get up and not talk about the future. A few months ago, I had an interview with the FT, and I was introduced as one of the analysts who regularly and accurately predicted the future, which I thought was a little bit over the top. But actually, you know, the thing that I am actually really bad at doing is actually predicting what's going to happen next month, next year, or certainly in the next 3 or 5 years. Actually, you know, I'm not saying that it's easy, but predicting what's going to happen over the next 20 years is actually not so difficult as predicting what's going to happen in the very short term. And the reason for that is that if you ever look back 20 years in technology, you will find the embryos of the technologies actually existed. People were starting to get excited about the things that are now commonplace in our industry today back in 1995. So what we all understand is that everything that has happened in technology has made things cheaper, it's made things smaller, it's made things faster, it's made things more efficient. So what you have to do is not look at the things that don't work today, you have to look at the things that could work for the future if all of those things actually happen. Which is the reason why I really do believe that if you think that the smartphone revolution has been dramatic, I believe that the advent of auto tech and everything that goes around it is going to be earth-shattering for our industry. It is going to disrupt the major manufacturers that we have. It's going to give huge opportunities to everybody from sensor manufacturers to the software people that control the autonomous cars, that control the coaches and the lorries. It's going to create huge infrastructure projects for making sure that all the roads are able to be operated in that way. I really do believe that we will get to a point where self-driving cars, or indeed cars with drivers, will be considered as antisocial, as was mentioned before, somebody getting on an aeroplane and smoking. I think that is what's going to happen. I think that vehicles using fossil fuels will be banned, and most will be electric, with battery technology being many, many times more efficient than today. I think that renewable energy will generate the vast majority of our energy needs. Solar is a bit like Moore's law even now. Some of you may have invested in some of the solar companies, and you know they really are getting to the point where it's twice the efficiency for half the cost over, certainly perhaps not a year, but over a couple of years. And I believe that even the smallest house, even in this country, might well have one of the equivalent of Elon Musk's power walls that will store energy during the day and for you to use overnight, and indeed to power your car that's parked in the garage overnight. Indeed, by 2036, will we even need a car? I think that the concept of sharing cars, where after all even my own car is left on the drive for 95% of the time, I think will again be commonplace. I think that AI and automation will change most white-collar jobs in exactly the same way as most blue-collar jobs have been changed over a similar period. And indeed, I would say, even standing up here as an analyst, I can see how AI could really affect even the industry that has paid my wages over the time. I think that augmented reality is going to be a huge hit, and when linked with haptics, I believe will revolutionize entertainment. I think that the days of you seeing things on a flat screen, I think, are over. I think that by 2036, you will have a room in your house where you will go in and you will be immersed in the experience. You will see things, you will hear things, and you will feel things around you. And as with everything in tech, pornography will lead the way on that particular activity. Wearable devices are going to have a huge range of sensors, and I think that is a limiting factor at the moment. I think that we will have wearable devices that have hundreds of different sensors doing different things, and they will be particularly used in healthcare. And I think that the time will rapidly approach when your robo-doctor will actually call you to tell you that you're just about to have a heart attack, and that he's actually summoned your Uber ambulance to come and pick you up, which will then take you to A&E, where you will still wait for 4 hours to be seen by someone. Now, whether this will all lead to a better or happier world as a result, well, I think I'm going to leave you to judge. But, you know, there is one thing that I can predict with absolute accuracy. If you think that the last 40 or 50 years in our industry has been exciting, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you very much.